I think one thing that people all agree on is that we seem to be living through an unprecedented moment in our politics. As we have watched the events of the past year unfold, I think the one thing people agree on is that this is different. And this is a moment in history that is unlike any other. The important question that we need to ask ourselves is, what comes next? Does this break with tradition signal the beginning of a new era of divided, more partisan government, or will the pendulum swing towards consensus and compromise after this period of disruption? And more importantly, really, what is the role of ordinary citizens in all of this? It feels sometimes like politics is out of our control, even as big, broad trends like technology, migration, globalization have an outsized power over our lives and are changing the world in ways that we can't really determine yet. But as unusual as this time period seems, I think that history still has lessons for us. The primary one being that our country has faced difficult and divided times before, and we've always come together to create a better future for our children and grandchildren. But that won't happen without each of us giving back to this country that's given us so much. And if our past teaches us anything, it's that the future depends on us. So whether we continue down a road of division or we come together, it's not really up to our leaders. It's really up to all of us as citizens. And that's always been the story of America. It's a big responsibility, but we're lucky to live in a place where that's true and where the responsibility is ours. I know that my situation and my childhood are unusual, but I feel fortunate that I was really able to see that firsthand in a family that taught by example and believed that no one is too old or too young to get involved in public service and try to make the world better for those around them, even if it's in their community, their school, their city, and on the national stage. So most of the time in our family that meant politics, and most of the time that meant for the men. But we all know that women are the people that make the political system work, and certainly that's true of any campaign that I've been involved in. Everyone in our family agreed, however, that my grandmother was the best politician in the family. She started campaigning around 1900 for her father, who was the first son of immigrants to become the mayor of Boston. And she didn't stop until she died at 104. So now our family is sometimes described as a dynasty, but her father entered politics because in those days most other professions were not open to the Irish in Boston. It sounds almost quaint until you hear the immigration debate today. But I don't need to look farther than my own family history to convince me that the child of a dreamer can become the President of the United States.